Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of From the Bottom Up. And this episode, I really kind of did myself in here because I picked an album that was what I thought was a great album to go with here, but I made it so hard on myself. This album is just simply so good that it was almost impossible to kind of rank these ones. And I don't say that too often because I kind of know when I'm going into an album what I'm looking at. But this one, wow. Every song, a really great song on this album, not a bad track to be had. But what I decided to do for this episode was Who's Next from The Who. And this album was their fifth studio album and often cited as The Who's best album. It came out on August the 2nd, 1971. It reached number one in the UK, which coincidentally marks the only time one of their studio albums made number one. Interesting. Um, and as far as the US goes, it reached number four. So the Who's Next was certified platinum three times. And really, I'm kind of surprised by that because it feels like there should be a lot more copies out there. I mean, they cite this one as the Who's best, and they got a couple double platinums. But man, this album by far and a mile, and so far in the distance, it's just so great. So this album actually started off as what Pete Townsend calls his Lifehouse project, which was supposed to be the successor to the Who's Tommy, which came out in 1969, and took him a long time to get that together, and then it just kind of fell apart. So this album features nine songs. Eight of these songs were a part of the original Lifehouse project. The only exception is what we're going to kick off our we're going to kick off the ranking right now, and that is with our number nine song, which is the song that they said was not written initially for the Lifehouse project, the only one, and that is My Wife, the track that was written by Mr. John Entwistle, and he sings lead vocals on it as well. And he basically wrote it to replace Boris the Spider in the Who's live set because he had grown really tired of playing that song because they let him feature the one song during the concert, and that's the one he would sing. So he decided to write another song to kind of replace that, and that's what My Wife is. Definitely a great song. Entwistle, he's got some gems he's written throughout the Who's career. And but the only problem with it is it's just that on any other album, it probably would have been right in the middle of the pack. But on this album, because of how great the songs are, it ends up being our number nine to kick things off here. So that'll bring us down to a number eight, which is the shortest song on Who's Next, clocking in at a mere 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Love Ain't for Keeping. Uh, Nice quick song that kind of helps get the early part of the album going here. Nothing too outstanding or memorable on this song. I mean, it's good. It's short and it's sweet. But nothing like the rest of the album. These next seven songs, the order could have really changed. But it was tough. But I'll give you what my number seven I determined it to be. And it's one of the strongest songs on the album, but here we are talking about it at number seven, oddly enough, and that is Bargain. Most albums, it would have probably landed in the top three songs on an album, but just because, like I said, the power of this album, it just puts it all the way back at number seven. It's a great Daltrey vocal. He sings the main part of the song with Pete singing. He handles the bridges on the song. So another nice song with the both of them on vocals, giving it a nice flavor. And Yeah, Bargain was a song that you would hear a lot on the radio, but you'd also see him perform it live as well. So it's definitely been one of the standouts of the Who's catalog for sure. And number six really needs no introduction. It's the leadoff track to Who's Next, and you can always identify it by the way the song starts off with the heavy synthesizer there. And they say when this song was written, initially it was 30 minutes in length. It had to be edited down to the high points, used as also it was used as the theme song to CSI New York. And that's something you'll see a trend on. Some of these songs, actually, a couple Who songs were featured as the theme song for the CSI series. So that one is CSI New York was for Bob O'Reilly. Uh, just a great song. This is one of those songs that has never people have never gotten sick of it. It's a definitive Who song. Just a great song. And to see it at number six is kind of odd. But once you see what I got in front of it, I guess you'll have to see it to believe it. But that's what we got. Bob O'Reilly at number six. And that takes us down to number five. And I've got the Pete Townsend song that he sings on here. And that is Going Mobile. Always love this song. It's got a unique flavor to it. And it's oddly enough, it's one of the songs The Who has never played live. But Roger Daltrey, in his solo shows, would uh, would have his band play it, and what he would do is he wouldn't sing it. He would have Simon Townsend, Pete's brother, who was in his solo band, come out and take the vocals. And man, very eerie how similar sounding these guys are. So it really went over well seeing it live. In any setting. It's just such a great song. And if Pete ain't gonna sing it live, who better to do it than Simon? So Going Mobile, another one of those great songs that you hear on the radio. Pretty much all these songs have been on the radio at one time or another because this album has really, it was one of those greatest albums of all time. How can it not? So five, we got Going Mobile. And number four, this is where I think you guys may think I'm a little crazy, maybe. I don't know. Let's see what your take is on here. I got Won't Get Fooled Again at number four. And I know this is one of the Who's top probably three songs, and mostly everybody's lists. It's always somewhere in the top three. Um, it was the first single released from Who's Next. Peaked at number 15. And it's one of the best Who songs, period, like I said. It's also a great song, the way at the ending is you get many artists that like to come on stage to this one because of the phenomenal ending there, kind of builds up before an artist hits the stage. And Who has done this pretty much since the beginning of her career, at least since the 80s, I know for sure. And that's none other than Joan Jett. She would always have this song soon as they would play this song before the concert, you knew she was getting ready to go on. And then right at the finale, she'd come right out and break right into Bad Reputation or whatever she usually opens with. A great segue to start a show off, no doubt. And that's how the Who's music has done so many different things for so many different people. And Won't Get Fooled Again, definitely just one of those classic songs. The last time they came, 2019, they actually played it in a different way. It was just more like they stripped it down and did a vocal. So it wasn't Roger going all out, belting it all out. Um, it was kind of unique the way they did it. If you get a chance, look it up on YouTube. Won't Get Fooled Again, 2019 live, and you'll see how they performed it. See what your take is on it. It's not as powerful, obviously, as the real song. But the way they stripped it down and kind of gave it a new life, it was pretty interesting to say the least. So that was number four. And number three, man, this song, any of these top three songs, it was really tough putting them in order, but I've got number three, Behind Blue Eyes. which was a single from the album. It peaked at number 34 in the US, and it's a heartfelt Roger Daltrey vocal. I think it's one of the first Who songs I ever took a liking to when I first heard it. All those years later, to me the song has just grown on me even more so. It's hard to put into words with this song. I just simply love it. It's just a gorgeous song, and I think many would agree it's definitely one of the greatest songs of all time, no doubt. So we got Behind Blue Eyes at number three. And number two, we're gonna getting in tune here. Simply another Who masterpiece, another song that kind of just moves right along, with the great vocals on it. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, it's got Nicky Hopkins on piano, the session musician who's always known for his great piano work there. The great Roger Daltrey vocal, getting in tune is definitely always. It's not one of those songs you hear a lot on the radio, but when you do, obviously you know it's the Who, you know it's Roger singing, and it's just one of those grand songs that just just hit home for you. Just a great song. And my number one here on this version of From the Bottom Up. And to me, this song is the Who masterpiece, the true masterpiece of the whole catalog. To me, there's not a song better. It features Pete Townsend singing the verses and the bridge and the coda. Roger comes in on the chorus and the coda. And of course, we are talking about all 6 minutes and 14 seconds of The Song Is Over. You talk about a gorgeous song, just a simply marvelous song. It's got a little bit of everything in it, but the main thing is, man, it's just such a great song. We got that at number one. It was actually initially intended to close out the Lifehouse album. So that's how much Pete thought of it, that he was going to use this song to close out the album. And I think the main part of the song is the thing that sticks out for me the greatest is the lead vocals, how about both Roger Daltrey and Townsend with their kind of like their contrasting vocals work surprisingly well together. And it just brings the song to a whole new light. And I love it when you got two singers in a band and they can pull off a song stunning as this. I think of some of these bands out there who have two singers, and a lot of times they never really work together on songs, except maybe during the chorus. But you have seen a couple over the course of time where they share lead vocals, where they take turns or they blend their voices nicely. But this is a perfect example of two great singers who are just fit right well together on this song. I just can't say enough about this song. I've always thought it was a great song, and then over the years, it's just simply stood out to me as the finest song in the Who's catalog. I can't say enough about it, but that's what we recommend. That's what we got here at our number one choice here on Who's Next from the bottom up. So that's what we got here. We're going to run a quick rundown final here. I've got number nine, My Wife. Number eight, Love Ain't for Keeping. Number seven, Bargain. Number six, Baba O'Reilly. Number five, Going Mobile. Number four, Won't Get Fooled Again. Number three, Behind Blue Eyes. Number two, Getting in Tune. And number one, The Song Is Over. And feel free to post your take and your order on these in the comments section here. You can post it on the website, the Facebook page, the YouTube page, wherever you see the video. Feel free to give us some feedback on this because this is one of those greatest albums ever, and we want to see what you think and see how close you match up to what we feel is the best and how the songs fit from the bottom up. And stay tuned. Next week, we're going to try to do three albums. I got a couple people that have already made some requests. So stay tuned for some really great deep dives on some of these albums here. We got a couple that are going to surprise you. So stay tuned once again from the bottom